Angus, welcome to hashtag Mental Health Day.
Jeremy, thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much for setting this up.
It's such a privilege. I follow you, Angus. It's like I'm really honoured to actually be speaking to you because what you've been doing is so inspirational, and I follow most days, and so I feel really kind of just really, it's just really amazing to speak to you.
Well, no, I appreciate all the support, all the messages you've given me over the time, so thank you.
Angus, I want to ask you, could you tell us about your story up to this point?
Yeah, lots of ups and lots of downs, really. So I'm recovering from some pretty low episodes of depression myself, and I've had bad suicidal periods in my life, and they've all come from extreme highs as well. So I kind of started my professional career as a adventurer, ocean rower over a decade ago now, and I've rowed across the Atlantic Ocean twice, won the race the first time, broke a race record, and then broke the world record a year later. Rowed across the Indian Ocean and broke the world record rowing across there. And then I kind of found myself in this position where I was in a really successful ocean rowing company, and I had kind of achieved all of my goals by the age of 30, broken world records, doing public speaking, talking about resilience and how to be a good leader and how to build strong teams. And even though on paper it looked like I was a very successful person and had achieved all of my goals, I was actually deeply depressed. But I didn't want to firstly admit that to myself or admit it to anyone else. I couldn't kind of make my problems somebody else's problems. And then I got to my 30th birthday and I very nearly took my own life, thinking that this world would be a better place without me, and that I had nothing to give to this world. And thank God that plan didn't go to plan. And here I am, and now I've kind of committed the rest of my life to telling my story and hopefully helping other people realize that no matter who you are, what you've achieved, what you've done, we're all open to mental health problems. We can all go through depressive episodes, and suicidal tendencies can happen to anyone, and we need to get on top of that. We need to talk about it. We need to build communities and make sure that we know that there are people there to talk to and about. And that led me on to my latest expedition, which you really kindly supported and messaged me, and that was to row around Great Britain. I wanted to become the first person to row around Great Britain solo, but also tell that story about the struggles that I have had. And even though on paper I look like a very resilient person and I am mentally very tough in some scenarios, but on the day-to-day I struggle on a very high level. So we are raising money for a charity called James's Place, who helps suicidal men get through the toughest times of their life, and that's a free service. And we aim to raise £250,000 for them, which we're very close to doing. And then I set off to row around Britain, which was much harder than I ever thought it was going to be.
Well, I mean, look, I mean, there's so many questions. I'm interested to know, about whether you're going to continue to row, because I mean there's such an amazing learning in all of this for you. I mean, we talked earlier about when we take these challenges and they don't go quite how we thought. Well, that's where the wisdom, the experience, the knowledge, for us to be able to plan strategically, the next time we attempt. I mean, that's what it's all about. I mean, so you are the greatest example of that. I am interested, actually, since we're on this. I followed it every day. It was extraordinary. Something broke on the boat. You could have never, ever have predicted that. I mean, so I want to ask you, are you going to attempt that again? I mean, what are you thinking in terms of coming out of that? Where's your thoughts and creativity going at the moment?
There's the competitive kind of sportsman side of me that is broken, that I didn't finish it and that I haven't completed that. But what I learned on that boat, being on my own for a long period of time, was I feel like on a pretty daily basis that I have to achieve massive things to feel pride in myself. And that's why I constantly go out to try and do these records and be a world first in these big adventures. And actually what I realized is that what I'm looking for is actually back at home, is being a good dad to the two kids in my house, and to be a good husband to Elsa, and be a supportive friend, and to look after men that are struggling. And I don't need to row around Great Britain to do that. So yeah, part of me would love to say, yeah, I'd love to finish it. I'd love to take that challenge on again. But really, that's not what I've got in me. And I'd love to support somebody else to do it and to continue the story. But for me, the challenge now is to just be a better dad, be a better husband, and to continue helping men that are struggling. So to answer your question in short, no, I'm not getting back on that boat.
Do you know, that is such a beautiful, incredible, like amazing answer, Angus. How wonderful. And you're right, you know, being at home with Elsa and the children, you know, that's what it's all about. I mean, that's a part of it, but having the realization, you know, that, you know, you don't need to, you know, climb Everest, row across the Atlantic, you know what I mean? You are incredible as you are, and you've done everything anyway, right? I mean, it's, you know, it's wonderful. And if that's where you are at this period, then that's a really beautiful thing. It's made me very emotional. So it's, you know, it's amazing to hear you talk about that, Angus. You know, you're such an incredible man. But I want to ask you now, you know, what about society? What's happening at the moment? You know, I get a little bit worried about the, you know, what we're doing to the planet, what we're doing to each other, what's going on in community. You know, how is all of this post-COVID? You know, how all of is this hindering our sort of the possibility of having good mental health? Is it?
There's sometimes it is very hard to be positive about it all. And one of the things that I feel like I'm missing in my life, and I'm not very good at supporting this, is community. I feel like community it's really hard to find a good, strong community that you want to get involved in. And I think that's something we need to, it doesn't happen easily to build a community, but without it, we don't have these conversations that we need to have, whether that's with your loved ones, with your friends, with your colleagues. We need to have that, get back into the office and chat to people, or go and join a local football team, or go for a walk with a bunch of guys that you met down in the pub and just chat. And I feel like that community is struggling at the moment. And then we spend more time on our phones, and then it feels like community is just being driven even further apart. And I think once you start having those conversations with people in your community, you realize that we all actually want the same things. We all want to achieve the same things, and we all want the same thing from each other. So the more we talk, the more we chat about anything, whether that's mental health or just anything, the better it is for all of us. And that is hard work, but we need to put that effort in to create those communities.
Amazing, Angus. Completely agree. So in terms of, you know, supporting other men, other women, you know, people generally, which is what I know your mission's all about in relation to this issue of mental health. What are you doing now? I mean, how can we help you? What can we find out about? What can we read? What can we look at in terms of, you know, getting closer to you, in terms of people who are watching?
Well, thank you for the opportunity. Yeah, so what I'm in the middle of setting up at the moment is a men's walk and talk. Not sure if it's going to be a charity yet or how it looks, but for me, I know I really struggle to openly and honestly talk about what I'm going through when I'm feeling low. And I've had some really good therapists and psychiatrists that I've spoken to, but it never really hits the nail on the head. And I think what really works for me is going for a walk with a mate and just chatting. So in a couple of weeks, actually, I've got a group of guys. We've got some successful bankers. We've got a refugee. We've got a carpenter from Bolton. We've got all kinds of different people all coming together. And any fitness level, it's just come and join and walk and just talk to each other. And you may not find the answers you're looking for, but at least you've got that kind of pressure off your chest and had that conversation. And so that's what I'm looking to set up. It's going to take a while to work out exactly what that looks like. Maybe we do a more adventurous version where we go kayaking for a few days, maybe some other ones which are just shorter, but really just an opportunity for blokes just to sit around, have a chat, get everything off their chest. So I'll be launching that on my social media, which is Angus Collins BE. Bear with me because it's going to take a few months to really work out how it looks. But as I say, yeah, keep an eye on that, because I think that's something that we really need. And you don't have to do it through me. If you're watching this and you're on the other side of the country and you just think it's a good idea, get some mates together, go for a walk, have a chat. That's all we need right now.
Angus, I can't wait to follow that on social media and find out. And if I'm free, mate, I'm on that walk with you. God, that would be incredible.
I'll send you the info and I'd love for you to go.
Mate, I want to be on that walk for sure. Okay, so listen, I think we've got to the end, Angus, of this amazing interview. Is there anything else that you would like to share in relation to your thoughts on mental health before we go?
One final thought is, I think there's a big thing at the moment that I think that men really struggle with, and it seems to be a big trend that we're all talking about resilience at the moment. And I think resilience is really important, but resilience is only important if you know why you're doing it, how you're being so resilient, and take somebody on that ride with you. Tell them when you're struggling. And if you're not doing that, you're actually just being stubborn. So yes, it is important for us to have mental strength and to drive and push forward, but do it with somebody else. Have that communication with somebody else. Make sure you're not just being stubborn for the sake of being stubborn. Be resilient and be honest. And that's what I asked for. Angus
Collins. Thanks, man. Good luck.
No, thank you. And thank you for everything you've done setting this up. You're doing amazing things for everyone around the world. And I really appreciate you and your team.
Thanks, Angus. Good luck, mate.
Lots of love.